Okay, so welcome back everybody. There's a few things I want to address from the last video. If I sound pissy, it's not directed at you guys, trust me. My face has been swelling on and off all day today. I'm having like hot flashes all due to my medication. Like, I mean, my hair's not even dry. Like, I'm dying here. But I wanted to address a couple of things. So I've said this I can't talk because my lips are so swollen. Benadryl's not helping. So I've said this numerous times on this channel. I train my dogs on all leashes. I mean, I've got 8-foot leashes, 6-foot leashes, retractable leashes. You know, my camping leashes range anywhere from like 12 feet to 30 feet. And the comment was, why am I using a retractable leash with a reactive dog? The reason he's on a retractable is because he earned it. So I start off all my dogs on a short leash, usually 4 to 6 feet. And once they learn how to walk properly, they get the retractable. And I know there's a huge hatred towards retractable leashes. If your dog's trained and you train with them, like, they're not a bad thing. But I think one thing people might be missing on those clips in the videos is they lock. So, I mean, he is on a short leash in some of those clips that I showed you guys. Like, the one where we're walking away, he is on probably less than 4 feet. And if you look really closely, you can actually see the leash kind of swinging a little bit. So he's loose leash walking with the retractable leash that is locked. And if you actually watch my videos, you see they're not always on retractable leashes. When we go to stores or we go to the vet office or we go to places where I don't want them to have full range, that's when they're on a shorter leash. The reason they're on retractables is it's my way of giving them freedom, because being on a short, tight leash, walking just by my side the whole time, that to me is now no way for a dog. And I've said many times before on this channel that if your dog is doing very bad reactivity, yes, they shouldn't be on a retractable leash. But again, I have been locking and keeping this at a short length. And also in the one clip where he's actually not locked and I call his name and he comes directly back to me, that's another reason I use retractables, is because it helps me train recall. And he should come back. Like, I didn't even have to tell him over here or to come. As soon as I said his name, while he was unlocked on that leash, he came back. And then I locked it when we were about to pass that house. So I have my reasons for using retractables. And another reason Sully's on a retractable is because he's not always reactive. That's my biggest issue, is he's not always reactive. Okay, so one of the comments, so Copper Tone, you mentioned about me changing the equipment and stuff, and about how your dog prefers to walk just by your side. And yeah, Sully, for the majority of the walk, he is always by my side. Like, it doesn't matter what leash he's on. I would say probably 98% of the time, Sully is walking right there, like in heel position with me. Like, he really doesn't like to stray too far, but he also likes to go exploring with the girls too. So he does walk by my side, but that's a valid point. Some dogs don't want to be too far away from their owners. And like I said earlier, I've trained all my dogs on harnesses and stuff. Clea she won't use a harness, but that's another story. But, you know, we've been back on the harness now a couple days because you guys are kind of watching my life, like, almost as it's happening, you know. But, so the harness is starting to help a little bit with his reactivity on things. And I'm keeping him shorter on the retractable leash. If it gets too bad, I will go back to one of the shorter leashes. And I'm never going to win on the internet with a retractable anyway, because there's some people out there who will bash me for it because, you know, of whatever reason. And there's other people that'll say that I am not giving my dogs enough freedom and I should just let them run free without leashes. So it is what it is. I do what works for me and my household. So I guess that's that. So, but I can assure you these can be locked and you can walk a dog perfectly fine with these once they're trained. So I've used retractable leashes for 20 years and I've used short leashes for that long too. So Bumbleb, I guess. I mean, you're the one that brought up the fact that you lose control for every foot of leash your dog has. I don't agree with that whatsoever. When you've built a relationship with your dog and that trust, and like my girls, their retractables are a lot longer than Sully's. His is only like 16 feet. My girls, I think, goes up to 22 or 25. Like, they recall beautifully on those. They listen perfectly. I mean, yes, there's less control, I guess, when they're further away from you, but if they're well trained and not have the reactivity, I don't agree with that, but that's just my opinion. And in Sully's case, he doesn't get as far as the girls, like I said. We actually got to a point with Sully where there was like no reaction at all. I mean, if you've watched my past videos, he was doing exceptionally well. He was getting back into sniffing dogs through fences without reacting, you know, and it's why I mentioned it's so back and forth, because I don't know what's triggering this now. And it could be numerous reasons. Like, I mean, it could be my health problems that he's picking up on. It could be his ear infections, because I notice when he gets ear infections, he gets more crappy with everybody. I mean, I would too. Ear infections, I think, suck. I don't know if I've ever had one actually, but I'm assuming they would suck, you know? He could also be reacting to my grief, like, because I'm having a really bad time lately with another wave of grief over Silver. He could just be testing me too again to see if I really frickin' mean what I say. And to the new native from Australia, your comment is probably what wins the comments of today, because at the very end you say something that's so true, and I will agree with 100%. You said, ask cattle dog owners like you, describe here, and they would probably tell you it's a good, loyal, protective cattle dog. One owner, that's all they see. And that's very spot on, because oh, I need water. I didn't need that much water. Okay, and that right there could be it in a nutshell. Like, cattle dogs, I'll say it till I'm blue in the face, they are not the type of dog who you expect or want to go socialize with everybody, unless you're gypsy. They really are all about just, they're human, all about you. It's almost like they're worshiping you in a sense. Like, I mean, they don't want anything else. You're their world. And I've said that numerous times too on this channel, you know. And my biggest issue with all of his reactivity stuff is, one, it was better and now it's just crap again. And I just want my arm to be saved, and I want him to not go into that state because it's unnecessary. That's all I'm trying to achieve at this point. And if I get anything extra, that's just a bonus. He could also be starting this reactivity because I'm away from the house more often. This could just be him being pissed off at me because I've left him. I mean, I'm going to the gym more often now, which I'm there a couple hours each time I go, which is multiple times a week. I'm working more to try to earn money for medical stuff. So it's like, just me being away more, that alone can make a dog more reactive. I mean, that he could just be totally just pissed off at me, you know. And like, I know when I come back from the gym, he's starting to grab my arm again, and he does like, I'll chomp you, I will, but he really won't because he loves me too much. Like, he used to do that arm chomp thing, and then that went away. He greeted me just happy to see me when I came home, but now that I'm away more, he's doing the arm chomp thing again. Cattle dogs are so freaking smart. Oh, I know. Yeah, you get the belly rub. They're so freaking smart. Like, it could be anything. It's like, it's just like with us humans, you know, one bad incident can cause us to have trauma for the rest of our lives, or mental issue, you know. It's just, and that's probably the case with all dogs, I think, but with cattle dogs, I feel like they really take it to heart, you know. It's like, and I do know my tone. I have to really get back into mommy drill sergeant tone, because he does listen better when I'm very stern. It bothers me that I always have to be stern with him. Like, I wish I could get him to where my girls are, or all the other cattle dogs I've had in my life, where I could just say it and they listen. I don't have to use that tone anymore. But, and if I have to use that tone with him for life, fine. But, you know, we're trying to refigure crap out. And I've said this before too, cattle dogs never forget. That's one thing that I know for sure with this breed. Something happens once with them, like, you make a bad impression, they're gonna remember that forever. Like, and my Silver was a perfect example of that. She remembered that first home she had for the rest of her life. Like, I better not talk about Silver right now, but they remember bad incidents. I know he's traumatized from the vet, because I remember when he was a puppy, he would go into that vet office all tail wagging, pet me guys, give me cookies. And then after all those doctor's appointments and surgery he went through, and then that whole thing, none of that would surprise me if that's where a lot of his mistrust comes from for people. And then also any experiences we tried giving him when people were at the house, they were already so fearful of him You got people standing there with their arms crossed looking down at the dog. Like, dogs pick up on that crap. So I know he remembers that kind of stuff. And I know now he doesn't know how to react. I mean, I found an old video from when he went to my friend's daughter's birthday party. Because when he was a puppy, I took him to her birthday party. And there's a tiny clip that I didn't put up because her daughter's in the clip. But he goes up to her daughter all tail wagging like, hey, little kid. You know, it's like I had such good moments there with him as a baby. And then it all just went to crap because life. And to JJ, yes, like, we're sticking with the harness right now. Muzzle might be a permanent thing if I need more control, but he's starting to, I think, get back in his head that mom's in control of the situation with the harness. With the fence thing, though, with him meeting dogs at the fence, this would be my question, because I was taught if a dog has reactivity, to let them have opportunities to meet dogs, whether it's through the fence or in person. And if they react badly, you take them away from it. If they react okay, you let it continue or whatever. So I'll be interested to see what you have to say on my next video, because there's another video I'm working on editing that we were trying to work on some reactivity with. And we have actually tried where we just walk past the house and I don't say a command to him at all, except maybe keep walking, because that's the command I use. And when we walk past the house, if I don't let him sniff on some of the houses, then he reacts even worse. And then Karen, I just wanted this is why I post all my crap with Sully and all my frustrations and all the good and the bad. The fact that you said that my struggle with Sully encourages me. And that's what this whole channel originally started for anyway, is to let other cattle dog owners know that they're not alone, that we're all experiencing this crazy together. We all can learn from each other, get tips and tricks from each other, and, you know, and better our cattle dogs so they don't end up in shelters and giving up. And the fact that this channel's already done that, like, I could die tomorrow happy knowing that this channel saved somebody from giving up their cattle dog. Like, oh man, I'm getting emotional. Stop it. You know, I post all this to show that, you know, we're all not alone in this. We all make mistakes. Even if you've worked with pets, you can still make mistakes training them. Like, because God knows I think my main thing of making mistakes recently a lot with his training is, it's probably because of me, what I'm going through emotionally and physically, and dogs pick up on that crap. So, like I said, it could be anything. He could just be mad that I'm going to the gym, you know? It's like, because he probably wants to go to the gym too and work on his cow dog muscles. Don't you? Little cow dog muscles. Can you see his pawpaws a little bit in there? I do know that at his age, there's no way he would ever be a dog that would just play randomly with other puppies, or he's not going to cuddle strangers. I mean, you've seen Sully at stores, and he's not really reacting to anything except he's a little overstimulated there. Like, he's got good potential, and it's always been, and the thing that's always kind of been there is, you know, his issue with coming into our bubble, and that I think still stemmed from that whole experience with the surgery. So he is who he is. I want to make it better to where he doesn't work himself, because he's stressing himself out. That's what concerns me too. It's not just my arm getting yanked, it's the fact that he is stressing himself out. And he doesn't need to do that. He just needs to, you should see him, he is so cute right now. Anyway, I just wanted to address some of the comments and explain once again why I use retractables. I've said before also on this channel that retractables are not for everybody. You got to have mad skills. And I'm gonna say I've got some mad skills, because I had 3 dogs on retractables trying to hold a cell phone recording the clip for you guys. Hopefully it didn't come out, you know, crappy or pissy. I mean, I'm not feeling good, so kind of like a cow dog, you know, when they're not feeling good, we get a little pissy, you know. But anyway, take care everyone, and yeah, we'll have more reactivity videos coming up, because that's just what's happening right now. Anyway, take care everyone. Bye. Say, such a mama's boy. Such a mama's boy. See, it's okay if we don't ever get you fully there, right? See, I gotta protect my women. I do. I gotta protect the ladies. Say, someday mommy will have to buy herself a chair again, right? Because this one's not mine anymore. Hi, princess. Oh, good and tired, all these cattle dogs. That means we did good on the walk today then, didn't we? Yeah.